One, I'll call the.
Sorry.
That, it's okay. Thank you, Seth. We'll call the meeting to order and we'll call the roll. Paul Markowitz present. Jennifer,
Here.
Craig,
Here.
and don't see Jeff or Patrice yet. Eric's, whoops. That one too. Eric Donovan's joining us. Eric's a member of the commission, a non-voting member. So Eric, please introduce yourself to everybody.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Eric Donovan, Scituate resident. I'm also a member on the Commission to Disabilities. Quadriplegic living in town, so I'm here to hopefully add some value to this commission from my perspective.
Great, thank you, Eric. And Seth, again, just really appreciate you having the video for us and facilitating our ability to have these meetings. It's really appreciate it. Okay, so as you know, we've scheduled 2 meetings a month, the first Thursday and the third, and the plan was we'd have the third Thursday if needed, if there's some development we want to talk about, and that way we can keep the process going, not have to wait another couple of weeks. We didn't really have anything to talk about, so we canceled the 21st. But item 2 then is the approval of the minutes of September 30 and October 7. I sent those out. Any questions or comments or corrections? If not, motion be in order. We can move both at the same time if you wish.
Do you want a motion to approve the October 7th, 2021 minutes?
Yeah, to do the other one also.
Oh, yeah, I'm sorry, I'm just trying to look up the date on that one.
Yeah, 30th, and it's item 2 there.
Oh, okay, so we will do the, I'm sorry, what was the other day? The other date?
Yeah, September 30th and October 7th.
Yeah, so motion to approve the September 30th and October 7th, 2021 meeting minutes.
Great. Have a second? I'll second. Any discussion? And I'll call the roll because we're virtual. Jennifer?
Yes.
Craig?
Yes.
Paul, yes, unanimous. Thank you. Now the feature of the night, Kyle Boyd. And let me just start by saying, I mean, I'm really thrilled that we've got Kyle helping us. I've been super impressed, Kyle, with your work for the town, and you know, you've been a big help for us on the Economic Development Commission. And you know, frankly, you're really the key person right now, I think, in moving this park at Pier 44 forward. Patrice and I met with Kyle in October after our October 7th meeting, and had a real good meeting. And Kyle, obviously, this is right in his bandwidth. He knows a lot about these issues in terms of getting help with the request for proposals for the design as well as the funding. So I'll turn it over to you, Kyle, and any information you want to provide us would be really appreciated.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you for that intro, Paul. And I am very excited to be kind of like the lead with everyone's help on this project on the town side. It's a beautiful piece of property with a lot of potential. So I'm excited to work with everybody and the community to create a vision that will beautify the harbor in perpetuity. So just a little background. I am the Planning and Development Director. There was a report done a few years ago where it interviewed all the residents of the community, business owners, nonprofits, and it asked them, you know, what was the most important elements for the future of the community. And overwhelming response was to enhance the downtown harbor, increase the sustainability and resiliency of the downtown harbor. And so we applied last year to do a downtown well, 2 years ago, I think we applied to do a downtown harbor sustainability and resiliency master plan. And we completed that. We worked with the community to complete that. And it's a really well done report that outlines a lot of the goals for the future of the harbor. So I've been really invested in that area specifically. So this project is really meaningful to me. And just so the members of the board know, that's a great document to provide a lot of background information for the harbor in general on what we're recommending for its future. And so in regards to this specific piece of land, I talked to Jim after I met with Paul and Patrice, because we were trying to figure out how we were going to fund the next step of this process. And the next step of this process is design. And so the word on the street was that there was $400,000 specifically set aside for the purpose of this property, which we weren't sure what that purpose was. So I went and met with Jim, the town administrator, and he let me know that there is $400,000 set aside for this parcel. It's specifically allocated to construction, but he's requested MBTA to see if we can use that money for design. And I've got a good sense that he feels that they'd be open to it, and that all things are leaning in that direction, that there wouldn't be a problem there. So as soon as we get the okay, that we can use that money for design, the next step in the process, which will bring us from 3 to 4 on the agenda, is to find the best design team possible that'll help us basically integrate all the needs and visions of this group as well as the community into creating the best design possible. So what we had talked about was, to make that happen, we'd really want an incredible RFP that calls in the best design teams to apply to design this parcel. And so I've reached out to MAPC to talk about potentially creating that RFP. I haven't had any luck with actually getting a meeting, but they know that I'm interested and I'm waiting to hear back. But the next step is for me to meet with a few different firms that we think would put together a high quality RFP. And then we will give them all of the information as a group on what we think should be included in that. And then it'll go, and then actually, so scratch what I said about an RFP. It's actually, because if it's under $10,000, the quote they give us, we'll just need to get 3 different people that quote on it. And then we can select that consultant. So that'll be our next step. And if anyone has questions, I'd be happy to answer them now. And then the other option too is we could always create that in-house if necessary, if we weren't happy with any of the firms. But
Kyle, I have a question.
yeah,
Are you saying that the RFP phase will be under 10,000 probably, and that we don't need to go out for an RFP? Is that what you just said?
yeah.
Okay.
So wait, Kyle, you're looking for designers to submit their
Well, actually,
plan?
so the next process is what Paul and I talked about would be to get a consultant to create the perfect call
Yep.
for designers. So it'd basically be creating the RFP that would.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, sorry that I probably wasn't clear on that.
And then
That's right.
then the RFP would go out to designers, and then they would submit their
Yes.
proposals to us that we would then look at to
Exactly.
determine what we felt was the best design.
It wouldn't be a design, it would be a proposal to do the.
Proposal to
the
do,
design.
okay.
Okay.
And MAPC, is that, can you just let me know what that acronym stands for?
Metropolitan Area Planning Council.
Thank you.
And the reason that I actually was really interested in reaching out to them is because they did the Downtown Harbor Sustainability and Resiliency Master Plan.
Mhm.
So they would very well know what elements should be incorporated in the design of that piece of property.
Yeah, I went to some of the public meetings that they facilitated, and I thought they were really impressive. And as you said, Kyle, the work product I thought was very good.
And the Scituate Harbor Sustainability Plan, that's something that a document that we can review?
Yes,
Is-
yeah,
okay.
I'll actually send it, I'll circulate it to everybody.
Okay.
Oh, that'd be great.
Okay.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
Yeah, and if there's any other documents that I think would be helpful, I'll make sure you guys have them as well.
Was this property included in that master plan?
Yeah, the
As
whole
far as
entire
the-
harbor was,
Okay,
yeah,
But there are elements like the coastal resiliency and, you know, what kind of barriers might be placed, you know, to fortify the harbor, things like that.
Mhm.
Which I think will be important to integrate into our plan for the park.
yeah. Yeah, so I think one of the most important things that we can do and that we'll want feedback on, and I actually, this is my first meeting with you guys, so I don't know where you are in the process, but identifying the elements that we would want included in the design. And I'm thinking whenever we get the consultant who's gonna create the RFP, I'll have them maybe meet with this group to ask the questions that need to be asked to ensure that all of the important elements are getting taken into that will be in the RFP, that it'll all be included in the RFP so that the design team that's chosen has a clear understanding of what needs to be designed.
And I think, so what we've got is a kind of a working wish list that represents feedback from the select board, direction from the select board, and feedback as well as comments from this commission. I'll get you that working list. And you know, I think part of the process would be either with the RFP consultant or with the design consultant of you know, working through this wish list. And you know, there may be some that are not practical or some that are incompatible, or you know, there just isn't space for these three. You got to pick one or two, or you know, whatever, things like that. Because I doubt if we can do everything, you know, on the wish list.
Yeah.
But so that'll be
Yeah.
part of the process.
Yeah, I guess that's something we could actually consider is, would we want to use some of that, you know, say the $400,000 all gets approved tomorrow. Would we want to say have 5,000 of that go towards a consulting firm like MAPC, professionally leading a public process to bring out all of the specific elements that the community desires effectively in an organized way?
Yeah, and I think we definitely want, of course, we've had a couple of surveys.
Yeah,
And so we have that input in that direction, and certainly the passive park is the preferred use. But definitely we would want to have more public input. And you know, frankly, I've been thinking, I think I'd like to have a little more, suggested we have a little more there before we're not putting just a blank page up on the wall for the public,
Yeah.
but maybe preliminary conceptual, and you know, see what the comments are, and you know,
Right.
want more of that or less of that. So, but that's something, you know, we'll talk about
yeah,
more with the commission, and you know, also I think guidance from the the RFP consultant as well.
Yeah. Do you know how many people responded in the survey?
You know, I could look it up. I know it was identified. There was a 2012 survey and then the more recent one that the select board managed.
I'm just curious.
Yeah, it was a pretty good response. As I
Yeah,
recall.
I feel like I heard that too.
Yeah.
All right, good.
I think there were over 1,000 people
Yeah.
That's what I recall.
responded. Yeah.
All right, so I'll look at that and then see if it feels like it's complete or if we need more public input.
You know, and
Do you guys
another
feel like-
thing.
Do you
Oh,
feel
I'm
like
sorry.
it's complete? Or do
Sorry?
you feel like it needs more clarity?
I'm sorry, your report or where
Do you
we are
guys
now?
feel like the survey provided enough information for us to create an RFP? Or to give to the consultants to create an RFP, or do you think? we
Yeah,
need
I
more?
think from the survey, the select board direction, the perspectives that the commissioners bring,
Mhm.
particularly with their liaison commissions. Again, I think we've got enough to then take it to the next level and get some feedback of, you know, the parcel's only this big. You
Yeah,
can't. you
right,
can't
right,
do
right.
3 things, you know, something like that.
Okay,
Or
I got it.
the, I think having a pier that, where you could have maybe a pavilion and, smaller events, but it would really increase the space, potentially, things like that, how feasible it is,
Awesome.
all of that sort of thing. So another thing we've talked about as a, in our process would be outreach to property owners, various departments in the town, and of course the commissions that we all represent. But again, I think that would be more efficient if we've got more of a preliminary scope or idea of what it is we're proposing rather than just the blank sheet. But also I think, something to talk to the consultant about, at what point do we have enough information to have really efficient outreach.
Good.
Any other questions of Kyle at this point?
I guess I have a question. So from this discussion so far, Kyle, you're going to write up a email or a document that will outline to the, what, 3 different companies, at least 3 different companies to get a price for writing this RFP. Is that the action item?
Yes.
Okay.
And,
What's the time frame on that?
Well, the thing is, we still have to wait on the funding to clear too.
Okay,
So,
Okay.
everything will be just kind of on hold until we get the official word.
and it's probably not that much effort to pull all this together once you get the word.
No,
No, okay.
Do we just have to wait for the word from the MBTA
Sure,
to
yeah.
Jim Boudreau, or do we have to wait for it to then be approved by the select board?
that's a good question. I don't want to answer that without knowing.
Okay.
So I will clarify. And answer. I'll shoot that to it and an email to everyone as well.
Yeah, as Kyle said, so he confirmed that there's 400,000 in MBTA money that's set aside for the Pier 44 Park property. It's designated for construction, and Jim's asked if a portion of that can be used for the preliminary kind of soft cost design, things like that. So that's what Kyle's waiting for. Any other questions? Thank you, Kyle. Let's go to item 5. Any reports from the commissioners? Any feedback from your commissions?
We have not had a meeting as of yet to discuss this, but I have been keeping the rec department updated, and as of right now, nothing.
Great.
They're just happy it's moving along.
Good. Craig, anything you want to report on?
No.
Eric?
I have no questions, and our commission meets next next week. And I think, has Jeff been attending?
Yes,
these?
yep,
Okay.
he sure has, yep.
So I'll hopefully connect with him next week as well.
Good. Yeah, and I did brief the Economic Development Commission during its October meeting, and I've mentioned before, this is a priority action for the commission, highly support this project, so their enthusiasm continues. Okay, down to item 6, any public comment? See David Sinkowski checked in, but you're welcome to comment, David.
I'm fine, thank you. I'm just listening in. Appreciate the time.
Great, yep,
I did have another point to bring up.
sure. Great.
This week, Daubers was sold. Did you hear that? The marina in front of Pier 44.
Oh, no.
Yeah, it was sold to a company, I think it was in Connecticut. They bought Daubers and the Mill Wharf.
Wow.
So maybe someone needs to, I don't know if we need to reach out to them at all, but there's the close proximity of that marina.
Right, yeah, they definitely, we'd want them on the list, all the, property owners in the vicinity. Just so they're not surprised or, hopefully not opposed, and any perspectives they have, I think we'd want to take into consideration.
Yeah, and I think where it's a new company that owns it, maybe I can take an action and reach out to them and let them know
Great.
that what we're doing, so they're not surprised, because I mean, they're right on, these two properties are right on top of each other.
Yeah.
Yeah, the name of the company is TPG out of Rhode Island.
That was close.
Yeah, TPG Hospitality.
Yeah, so I'll reach out to them and just to tell them what we're up to.
Great, appreciate it. Okay, so that'll be an action item. By the way, Craig has offered to prepare the minutes for this meeting, so we'll be circulating those before the next meeting. Kyle is following up with Jim on the funding and then next steps in the RFP consultant process. And our next meeting is scheduled for Thursday, November 18th. And as we've discussed, if we need that meeting, we'll have it. If we have something to talk about, I don't want to have meetings if there's nothing to talk about. So probably depend on, Kyle just dropped off, but whether Kyle's got any feedback, something to bring back to us. But I'll coordinate with Kyle, but there's a potential we won't be having the November meeting.
Paul, when you met with Jim, did he have any sense of how long it's going to take to hear back from the MBTA?
Yeah, Patrice and I met with Kyle, and then Kyle met with Jim.
Oh,
I did not
okay,
meet with Jim, but
yeah, okay.
we met with Kyle, I think October 9th maybe, and he called me the next day. He had met with Jim later that day, and Jim was pretty confident that MBTA would approve that use of funds. I know, kind of in my experience with local government, when something's designated for construction, it generally includes the kind of pre-construction surveys, environmental, soft costs,
Design work,
things like that. Yeah. So that doesn't seem like an extraordinary kind of clarification to ask for, because obviously the construction funds aren't usable unless you have the preliminary funds to prepare the site and plans and all of that. Any other business for this meeting?
Nope, I think we're good.
Okay, good. Jennifer, anything else?
No, I'm good, thanks.
Good. Eric?
All good.
Good, okay.
Okay.
So we need to take a roll call vote to adjourn the meeting, so I'll ask for motion to adjourn.
I will make a motion to adjourn the meeting at 7:28.
Great. Craig, second.
Yes,
All those in favor? Or, oh, let me do the roll, make this right. Jennifer,
Aye.
Craig,
aye.
I vote aye as well. So carried unanimously and meeting declared adjourned at 7:28.
Okay, thank you so much. See you guys in a few
Again,
weeks.
thank you,
See you on the-
Seth,
see you on the
appreciate it.
18th.
Thanks,
Eric,
Seth.
thanks for joining us and
Thank
really
you.
looking
Thank you for
forward
having
to
me.
your input as we go forward. Thanks, everyone.
Fantastic.